If Adolf Hitler were in power today, the world would be a vastly different and much darker place. Hitler's ideology of Aryan supremacy and his belief in the extermination of certain groups of people would have led to even more devastating acts of genocide and persecution. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy would have led to even more devastating wars and conflicts, causing the loss of countless lives and the displacement of millions of people. His aggressive militarization and expansionist goals would have led to a world where world powers are constantly at war and there's a constant threat of nuclear war. Hitler's economic policies would have led to a state-controlled economy where businesses are nationalized and the state has complete control over the means of production. This would have led to widespread poverty and unemployment, with the government controlling the distribution of resources and wealth. Hitler's domestic policies would have led to a totalitarian state where individual rights and freedoms are non-existent. The government would have complete control over the media and the education system, and citizens would have been forced to conform to the state's ideology. Political dissent and opposition would have been met with harsh punishment, including imprisonment and execution. In short, if Adolf Hitler were in power today, the world would be a much darker and more oppressive place. If Stalin were still alive and leading Russia today, the world would likely be a very different place. Stalin was known for his ruthless tactics and his iron-fisted rule, and it is likely that he would have continued to exert a strong authoritarian control over the country. One major impact of Stalin's continued leadership would likely have been the continued suppression of political dissent and free speech. Under Stalin, political opponents were often arrested, tortured, and executed, and it is likely that this pattern would have continued under his leadership today. Additionally, Stalin's aggressive foreign policy and expansionist ambitions would likely have continued, leading to increased tensions and possibly even conflicts with other nations. In terms of economic policy, Stalin's focus on industrialization and heavy-handed control of the economy would likely have led to continued state control of key industries and a lack of economic growth and development. Overall, if Stalin were still alive and leading Russia today, the world would likely be a much more repressive and militaristic place, with fewer freedoms and greater potential for conflict.